The tint of the room slowly changes from the shine of the afternoon to the orange of dusk. A clock lazily ticks away the seconds, counting in the background on the verge of hearing. But no matter how long I wait, the outcome cannot be changed. The diminutive playing piece makes a small click against the board. Like a wound spring, Hanako makes her move only moments after mine. It's embarrassing. In comparison to my 5-minute moves, she seems to know exactly what she wants to do. Mate. Again, what does that make this? 3-2? Stalemates don't count. Damn, you're getting better at this every day. That or she's been holding back. I'd have never thought it when I first met her, but she really has a knack for this game. Class seems to have become a popular pastime for the two of us, hiding away in the tea room, playing a game or two after classes. From here, the students outside can barely be heard milling about. The everyday noises from below remind me a little of my life before Yamaku, though I'm by now well aware that it's a life I'll never go back to. Fancy another game? I have to finish my homework. Oh well, I'll see you tomorrow then. But what about this? Hanako points to the tea set surrounding the mostly empty chessboard. Don't worry about that, I've got it. Okay. See you later. Hanako departs as I start cleaning up the area. The occasional whistles and cheers from the sporting clubs outside become less frequent, eventually approaching silence. A part of me still wants to be in some kind of team. Since I played soccer and other sports before my accident, I guess it's only normal to feel nostalgic about what I can't do anymore. But I have other reasons than that for my coming here so often, and I don't feel so bad about losing that part of myself because of them. Lily is a good friend by now, but it's the small exchanges I have with Hanako that feel especially dear. The small victories I feel every day as I see more of what she's like under her self-imposed shell. That's why I come here most of all. As I'm putting away my cups and saucers, I hear talking outside the door. Pausing for a moment to listen, I can make out that it's Hanako and Lily and decide to go out to investigate. Are you quite sure? I'm sure. Ah, Hisao! Oh, I thought that was Lily, my bad. Hanako turns to me with a look of mild surprise as she notices my approach. Lily must have caught her saying just as she was about to leave. Oh my, Hisao is here as well? Afternoon, Lily, what's up? I was hoping that, now that I finish with my class representative studies and duties for the day, that I might have the two of you accompany me for tea at the Shanghai. It would be nice to enjoy ourselves outside of the school for a change. I'd be up for it. I think Hanako had work to do though. It's not all that much. Wonderful, it seems that we're decided then. I cast my eyes across the cafe as the three of us step in. As usual, there are only a handful of people around at most, and the noise level is quite a quiet background hum. The hold Lily has on Hanako's arm remains just as it has been for the entire slow walk down the hill to the local town, though it's hard to say for which reason, for Lily's guidance or for Hanako's reassurance. For a moment, Lily removes her arm from Hanako's to retract her cane as Yuko quickly skitters over to where we stand, but soon replaces it right back where it had been. Welcome to the Shanghai, may I take your order? She gives a deep bow, her well-delivered and professional introduction putting her in a good mood. It's a nice change from the normal for Yuko. Just tea, please. Hanako, Hisao? I'll have a slice of pie and a coffee. Just tea, please. Coming right up. Please take any seat you wish, and I'll be back shortly. Yuko gives a smile and a nod before shuffling to the counter, and we make our way to some empty seats by the window in quick measure. We slip into our seats, the girls on one side with Lily's cane propped up beside them and I on the other. I realise that Hanako's not doing something that she so often does. Rather than keeping her eyes pinned to the ground and hiding behind her blind escort, busily trying to convince herself that the world around them doesn't exist, she's merely keeping her eyes low and helping Lily around. Are you okay, Lily? You look tired. She lowers her head a little, looking somewhat embarrassed that she let it show. Class representative work can be very tiring, considering that it often means dealing with the student council. Very tiring indeed. How do the other representatives go? Better than I, but not by much. Shizune is a hard taskmaster, no matter whom she deals with. It doesn't sound like you particularly relish the job. Why'd you do it in the first place if it's that bad? Being a class representative is enjoyable, and I can deal with the responsibility well enough. It's just that the people involved are sometimes... She trails off, cutting her words at a rather opportune spot. It's hard to imagine Lily cursing, but I imagine that if anyone could make her do so, it would be Shizune. Hanako looks to be withering a bit of in the light of such conflict, but before I can steer the topic away a little, she stands up. Hanako? I'll be back in a bit. With that, she leaves for the restrooms. I suppose that's one way to deal with the situation, if that indeed was her motivation. Lily, however, looks a little wounded. Don't worry about it, I don't think it was you. But I think she's been getting stronger recently. You've seen it yourself, right? That went a bit awry. Fortunately, Lily doesn't look offended. By now, I really shouldn't quite be scared of stepping on that landmine around her. Possibly. Sometimes I find it hard to tell, though. Silence reigns for a moment before 2 teacups of pie and a mug of steaming coffee appear in front of us. I notice that Yuko takes special care to place the teacup against the tip of Lily's fingers, letting her know where it is. Here you go. Thanks, Yuko. Thank you. With a quick and silent bow, the bespectacled waitress takes her leave. Ah, that's right. I was meaning to ask you something, and now would be the right time to do so. I'm all ears. Hanako's birthday is coming up, and I was hoping that you might accompany me for present shopping in the city this weekend. Hanako's birthday is soon? I suppose it would be a nice change to cheer me up a bit. Like Yuko, she always seems to be teetering on the edge of either panic or depression, and I've never seen her enjoy herself much outside of our chess game. All that aside, learning the layout of the city better with a friend keeping me company sounds like a good way to spend a weekend. Sure, I'd be happy to go. Have you got any plans for what to do for a birthday, a party or anything? A party. Hanako being Hanako, perhaps a low-key affair would be... Lily suddenly cuts herself short, leaving me wonder why as she brings her teacup to her lips and begins to sip. After a few seconds, I notice Hanako walking up to us over her shoulder. Lily's hearing must be very good indeed if that was the sound of the restroom door opening that tipped her off. Hanako takes her seat once again and wastes no time in drinking her tea. Soon the 3 of us are quietly eating and drinking as the sun sets. It's a nice way to spend the remainder of the day's light, and it makes me appreciate the quiet and serene surroundings of Yamaku. I think I'm really beginning to like life here, as isolated as it may be. I finish off the last of my coffee and rest my mug on my table while the girls talk between themselves. The coffee here is a little bit bitter for my tastes, but still quite good. Better than what I can make for myself in any case. The girls' discussion is mainly focused on their respective reading preferences, which does give me a little curiosity about a related topic. Hey Hanako, I was just wondering, aside from chess and reading, do you have anything like hobbies or things you like doing? She's completely stopped in her tracks, looking quite surprised that anyone would be interested in asking such a question about her. It takes her a little time to formulate a response. I guess I like singing a little. I'm okay with computers as well, but I don't use them all that much. Singing's not exactly something I expected to hear. It's hard to imagine her singing voice, given how soft-spoken she is. Lily, on the other hand, simply nods. She must already know this, since she's been friends with Hanako for 1 year or so by now. What about me? She hesitates before quickly flicking her head up and down. It's only logical that she'd want me to talk about my hobbies after she's told me hers. There's chess, obviously, but also, there was soccer as well, though I can't really do that anymore. Reading, which I picked up in hospital. This is surprisingly hard. Lily and Hanako look a little put off by the direction it is taking, and the more I think about it, the more I am too. It sounds as if you've picked up quite a few things since your accident. Lily's candour is coated with probably the most positive spin one could put on what I said. Hanako, however, is silent. If a situation becomes difficult, her reaction always seems to be withdrawing into silence, in order to prevent things getting worse, that or physically retreating. Soft. That wasn't soft. A soft ringing gives us pause. As Lily reaches into her pocket, it becomes obvious that the sound's coming from her phone. Sorry. It's okay. Lily gives a quick nod before shuffling out of her seat and taking the call a little distance away to avoid disturbing the both of us. Must be nice to be popular. Hanako smiles but doesn't take up the hook for further discussion. I end up just sitting back and closing my eyes, relaxing as best as I can. It's nice and peaceful here. I wonder what it'd be like to have grown up somewhere like this rather than in the city. You come from the city? Looks like I found something she wants to talk about. Yeah, you could tell I was a city kid through and through. It sounds like a lot changed. It did. I'm still not quite sure what to make of it all though. It's a bit of culture shock in more ways than one. You must have gone through something like this when you first arrived at Yamaku, right? I would imagine most students would. Not really. Hanako gazes a little bit to the side, looking unwilling to go on. I tilt my head inquisitively, but a couple seconds pass with no further answer. But can't we deal with that on Monday? The fallout has hardly settled from the last. I understand, I'll try and talk her down. You know what she's like when she gets locked onto an idea. Yes, thank you. I'll talk to you later then. Goodbye. Lily's conversation ends with a snap of her phone closing. She returns to the table but doesn't take a seat. Need to go? Unfortunately, class representative work calls once again. I can come with you. It's alright, Hanako. I'll just be going straight to the student council. There's no need to spoil a fine evening on my account. Besides, if you were to accompany on my way back to school, who would keep poor Hisao company? Okay. I can join you for tea again later if you'd like. I may well need it. We agree on that plan, and Lily says her farewells to the both of us, taking her cane after Hanako passes it to her. Despite my offer to pay for Lily's share, she insists in giving us her a portion of the bill and gives her regards to Yuko as she takes her leave. And then we're alone. It may all be well and good to leave Hanako and I alone have some time together, but all it typically means is two of us sitting near each other in silence for a while. I wonder what I must look like to Hanako. I never thought of myself as a scary person, but to have someone my own age acting this way around me makes me intensely self-aware. As if it's my fault that she's so troubled. She might get more used to people if she were to stop being so cloistered in Yamaku. But then again, when even people much older than her react so strongly after a single glance at her face, she may well feel the same way I do now. It's a real catch-22. If she stays in Yamaku, she won't get used to socializing, but if she leaves, any efforts she might try would get thrown back at her by the people who can't deal with her scarring. Want to order something else to keep us going? We haven't had much for dinner after all. Hanako brightens and nods vigorously, glad that I brought up the topic for her. I catch Yuko's gaze and she dutifully comes over to take our orders. Would you like something else? I'll just have a sandwich special and a hot chocolate. Bit late for coffee now. Hanako? I'll have the same. With a nod and a bow, Yuko turns on the ball of her foot and returns behind the counter, where she busies herself fishing out bread and condiments and working the machine to make our drinks. Not a word is said between us until Yuko comes back. She smiles and gives our food and drinks, before moving to a customer who's called for her attention. I give up on the prospect of having so much of a conversation with my companion and decide to just enjoy the meal, small as it may be. It tastes nice, it does most of the food here. After having a few mouthfuls, I notice something is missing, namely the sound of Hanako eating. Looking back at her, I see Hanako fidgeting a little behind her untouched sandwich. Not hungry? She shakes her head from side to side. Even as she does, the patch of her hair she keeps over the right side of her hair still does its job in hiding it almost entirely. It's not that. Ah, I was all ready to have your share too. You looked troubled. Is something wrong? I'm startled by her thinking that I'm the one who always looks troubled, but on second thought she's probably right. My face may have given away my emotions without me noticing, and she's hardly a dim person, quite the opposite. We're friends, right? Friends. From the tone of her voice and shrinking posture, it looks like I've hit another landmine. This is yet another reason why interacting with her is difficult. The self-imposed psychological barriers she puts between herself and others, including me and, most likely, even Lily. It's a shame that... I think that we are... I'm little taken off guard by Hanako's straightforward answer. All the more so since I was about to give up on getting any reply at all. I see. Am I wrong? Sorry, No, it's just... Hearing confirmation of that from you is reassuring. To pick up on what you said earlier, since coming to Yamaku, I've been a bit uneasy about how I should relate with others. I find myself chuckling a little. It's surprising how much relief that was. I can feel my face smiling, and as I pick up a cup of hot chocolate and bring it to my lips, ouch, that's hot. That's why I haven't eaten yet. I was waiting for my drink to cool down first. Okay, so I wait then. The both of us share a little chuckle. The situation isn't really that funny, but for some reason, it feels like laughing is the most natural thing to do right now. I guess we're both a bit wound up about each other. I was so busy thinking Hanako was the one with something wrong. It took her to remind me that I was uneasy as well. But be that as it may, it still feels a little nice. A little nice to have someone thinking about me like that, in her own way. Following a long, quiet trudge up the hill and into the school grounds, the two of us find ourselves between the two dormitories. Regular night patrols pass between the male and female dormitory buildings. Both security and to quickly raise the alarm for any medical issues that may arise. The guard currently on duty notices us and gives us a quick nod as he continues on his way. A loud yawn escapes from Hanako's mouth before she has a chance to cover it. I have a little doubt that she's tired by now. I'd better be off to my room. See you tomorrow, Hanako. Good night. We separate and begin to walk our separate ways before I stop and look back. Hanako stands there waving to me as she smiles. I smile and wave back to her, and after a few seconds she turns and walks up the stairs to her dormitory building, disappearing through the door. These little moments we share between us feel like a small treasure. One thing is sure, I want to protect that small, delicate smile she so fleetingly wears around so few people. I wonder about those feelings I have when Hanako's around, and when I'm able to do things for her, whether they may be the seed for something beyond what we share right now.